Hello and welcome to Afternoon Tea with the Bake Off. Every week I'm going to be discussing the episodes and having a lovely cup of tea at the same time. Before we begin, I should probably let you know that my tea today is Jasmine. Lovely. My snacks today are my mini rolls, which I made in my technical challenge. There's a link below to the Baking with the Bake Off series that I have been doing for the past 3 years. Every year I bake the technical challenge and see how technical it actually is. As you can see, they're alright. I'm joined this week by Mary and Paul, who are clutching in the remnants of BBC. So that brings me to my very important first point of the day, which is the new presenters. Sandy Toksvig and Noel Fielding are presenting instead of Mel and Sue. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, they did arrive in a hot air balloon, which is very mighty bouche of them. But as far as I can see, it's the same theme tune, it's the same challenges and the same tent, same Paul. Did think that Sandy and Noel were a little bit awkward together, but I think it's possibly because the rapport hasn't come through yet. I mean, you can't really compete with Mel and Sue, who've been friends for years. But then again, you would think if they're going to be putting new presenter on, they might have thought that through. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm going to give them a chance that they'll actually start to become a little bit more banterous. I was expecting more light-hearted banter from Noel. I mean, he did eat a flower, so don't get me wrong, that's quite cool. So I'll just await my judgment till later. And the next thing is Prue Leith, who's taken over from Mary Berry. We didn't really know who she was, which is a bit shameful considering she has over 50 years of experience. But a quick Google later found out that she's actually Chancellor for Queen Margaret University, which is where I went to university. How exciting is that? And also my gran went there too, and it was the domestic science school. So it's all in the family. Basically what I'm saying is I am Prue Leith. And Paul is back. A lot of people said that he's a sellout, but at the same time I'm like, he knew what he was doing. You can't really fault him for that. And he was throwing out his handshakes on episode 1, just throwing them out all willy-nilly. I mean, well done to Stephen and Sophie for getting the handshakes on first episode. Their cakes did look really good, so Twitter was going crazy for that. It'd be quite the honour, but Stephen and Stacey were delighted. I think I would be as well. Although I get the feeling that Paul would kind of give you one of those really awkward, man hands, trying to squeeze it, just The signature bake was fruity cake, which went a bit wrong for some, and Sweary Berry had a lot to say about James's cake, saying that it was less of a soggy bottom and more of a fruity prolapse. Delightful. The signature bake certainly did split the group on the first challenge, with some of things going quite wrong. Stacey had some drama, Jan's stuff went in the bin. However, James did give me one of my favourite innuendos of the evening. I've lost some bottom. Speaking of innuendos, coming up are my favourite ones from the episode. Let me know in the comments below what you think the most hilarious double entendres were. Now the technical mini rolls. Hey! And I made them! Let me tell you, they are a lot trickier than you'd think. Poor Peter and Stacey didn't fare too well this time, and Chris actually got the lowest score. Well done on Kate though, she won this first technical challenge. She did do quite well, they were very even. I was quite impressed, and looking at mine and then looking at hers and then looking at mine and then looking at hers. I don't want to look at mine. Don't forget the recipe that they get is actually not the full recipe. On channel 4 though, you can get the full recipe, which is the one that I have used, or you could just watch my Baking with the Bake Off video. So let's talk about the adverts. So by this point I've already had one set of adverts. I mean, they're alright. I mean, I don't really mind. I did get a chance to pee, which was quite nice. I did think that it's I don't know whether the editing takes into account when the adverts are going to be. I don't know whether they should probably make that something, because it did feel like it was cutting off halfway through a sentence. And I know that after they came back from the adverts the third time, Sandy was already halfway through. She was already chatting away. So I don't know what she said to start with. And even after I watched it a second time, it still cut it out. So maybe they need to put that into equation, that they're not editing it for BBC. They need to put more effort into the fact that it needs to be done in chunks and sections. I mean, you've basically got the system right there. First challenge, adverts. Second challenge, adverts. Third challenge, adverts. Announcement, done. It's fairly straightforward. What do I know? The final challenge was the illusion cake. Now, I have done a couple of illusion cakes in my time, including a stack of books. However, unlike Tom, I actually had more than one day to make it, so I think fair play to him. It was a pretty good cake. My absolute favourite was Liam's stack of pancakes. That did look amazing. I kept forgetting it was a cake. It did look like a stack of pancakes with all the golden syrup drizzled over the top. Well done, Liam. I think Liam's one of my favourites so far, although Flo's watermelon cake was pretty cool. And Star Baker was, of course, Stephen. Well done, Stephen. He did actually do very well in the first challenge, getting that, amazing Paul Hollywood handshake, and then was quite consistent throughout. I think it was well deserved. But do you think so? Do you have someone else you would want to be Star Baker? Let me know in the comments below. Do you have a favourite so far? I mean, I'm obviously Team Tom, because, Scotland, whoop whoop. And I think I quite like Liam, but Flo's doing really well. Stephen obviously got Star Baker. To be fair, I don't think I have a winner thus far, but sadly we had to say goodbye to Peter, and that was a shame, because I think it'd be quite nice if we got a chance to see them do a little bit more. Maybe nobody goes out the first time, and then we get to see them do a second challenge, because if you think about the first time you're in the tent and you've got to deal with all that pressure, you wouldn't really know what you're doing. You would just be diving on in, and well, I guess, someone has to go, and not everybody fails. So now it's time for my favourite innuendos! Yay! Within, the first 10 minutes we had our first one. Poor Julia and her moist courgettes. I meant to squeeze my courgettes. Funny. There's also James and his lost bottom. And then obviously, don't worry about leaving a bare bottom. And Sandy, oh my, I can actually feel my hips widen as we do it. Naughty. And then Tom, when he was making the mini rolls, hopefully they'll have a perfect little spiral and be nice and tight. Do you have a favourite innuendo? Just let me know in the comments below. I'm sure I've missed out loads. There are... Oh! Dripping all over the place. Ah! Dripping! I love the word dripping. This is filthy. There's obviously soggy bottoms and moistness all over the place. I think they said moist like a million times in that first signature challenge. There's loads to choose from, but please comment below what you think your favourite innuendos were. That's it for this week. Thank you for joining me in my very first afternoon tea with the Bake Off. You can join me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, where I will be tweeting each week along with the Bake Off. There's loads of bakers out there, loads of people who just love talking about Bake Off on Twitter, and it's great fun. Hashtag is GBBO, but there's also the hashtag Baking with the Bake Off, which is all about me baking with the Bake Off. And of course, the Baking Nana and Rob, who do GBBO Twitter Bake Along. So there's loads of things that you can hashtag and join in on every single week when Bake Off comes out. I'm really looking forward to the comments below on your thoughts on this episode, just so I can see what more things you'd want to know or what you want to talk about, to be honest, because, I'm quite happy sitting here drinking my tea. Let me know what you think of Sandy and Noel, or if you think Prue is a great match for Mary Berry. So that's me for this week. My name is Colin. This is Colin's Time to Bake Afternoon Tea with the Bake Off. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.